Hello and welcome to Sports Vibe. We're here with former jockey and current television presenter Mick Fitzgerald. Mick, absolute pleasure as always. We're here to promote the Betfair National Jockeys Day, which has raised money for the Injured Jockeys Fund. How important is this scheme?
It's huge because the IJF is a charity that's set up to look after jockeys who less fortunate than myself and lots of other jockeys. People know about Frankie Dettori's and your Tony McCoys, and they know that they've done quite well for themselves. There's an awful lot of lads out there who have only had half a dozen rides in their career, who have fallen on tough times, and the Injured Jockeys Fund is always there for people like that to turn to. So every time you tweet using the hashtag National Jockey Day, Betfair will give £1 to the Injured Jockeys Fund. So basically, get tweeting.
And how important is it for a company like Betfair to get involved with this?
Well, it's huge because they've got the financial support that they can give to something like this, and they can help push it, because the more people that tweet National Jockey Day, the more money that will be given to the Injured Jockeys Fund. So the more people that know about it, the better chance we have of raising money.
You yourself had to retire due to an injury sustained during the Grand National. You know what some of these injured jockeys are going through. How hard can times be when you're sidelined and you don't look like you're going to get back into the career?
It's tough. It's probably mentally more draining than physically. Physical, you can see the improvement, but for somebody who's struggling mentally, you can't ever see how dark a place they've visited, or are they ever going to come out of that. So I think that's when you probably need more support than anything, especially if it's an uphill struggle and you're not going to get back.
In British sports, jockeys sometimes don't get the recognition, say, that footballers do, cricketers do, other athletes. Just how hard is it to be a jockey?
It's tough. You have to be single-minded. You have to think about nothing else, and basically it's time-consuming and life-consuming. If you're not willing to give it everything, there's always somebody next to you who will. So you've got to basically show willing.
On to Saturday, we've got the Betfair Chase at Haydock. Is there anyone you fancy?
There's plenty of them. There's a small but select field in the race. You've got horses that have got previous at the track, the likes of Silvagnac, Conti and Q-Card. Dynast is one that David Pipe is making the right noises about, but I think I love the way Q-Card won at Wetherby in the Charlie Hall Chase, and I'd like to see him win for the Tizards.
You've switched from the saddle to presenting now. Over the past year, what's been your favourite moment from horse racing?
I think there's been so many to pick out one, but one that certainly just springs straight into my mind is Frankie Dettori winning the Derby on Golden Horn. Because Frankie is Mr. Showman, and he shows off our sport as well as anybody does. And I think him winning that was huge for us.
Someone that's joined your Channel 4 team now is obviously AP McCoy.
Yeah.
Firstly, just where does he rate as a jockey through his career, and also did you give him any words of advice when he joined?
Where he ranks as a jockey, I think his record speaks for itself. 4,000 winners, I think 4,357 is the end total. That is unbelievable. Like, I rode 1,350 winners, and I think I'm 5th or 6th in the all-time list. He's ridden 3,000 winners more than me, and like, that tells you, when you quantify it, he's ridden 200 winners every season for 20 seasons to even get anywhere near his total. Did I give him any words of advice when he became a TV presenter? No, because if I give him too much advice, he's going to be an awful lot better than me.
One of the major talking points in the last week was Faugheen, obviously losing its unbeaten record. Were you as surprised as everyone else?
I think so. I was watching the race while I was working for Channel 4 at Cheltenham, and it was a surprise. But Nichols Canyon, the horse to beat him, is a very good horse, and I think Nichols Canyon, it'll probably make Faugheen pull out all the stops in the Champion Hurdle come next March. So it's not a surprise. I think he was a very good flat horse, but nobody ever wants to see a horse get beaten, especially one who, until last weekend, was undefeated.
And finally, plenty of big horse racing in the next 6 months. Is there any horses you're tipping to be right up there at the top?
Well, I think one of the great days last year at the Cheltenham Festival was when Coneygree won the Gold Cup for Mark and Sarah Bradstock. Sarah Bradstock is daughter of Lord John Oaksey, who was one of the founder members of the Injured Jockeys Fund. That was a very special day when that horse won, because they've only got a few horses in their stable. They're not one of the leading lights who've got 150 horses. that was huge for them, and I'd love to see that horse come back and win.
Thanks very much for your time.